riders, check it out though, you're not. It's because it's a dynamic thing. This is not static, this is dynamic. So when you open up, you feel left behind a little bit, but you're really perpendicular to the ground. They're just continually moving, and you stay with them without leaning forward. Because then you lift your seat off, and that completely negates the effect of your seat. And then you're kicking to go, and then I tell you to put your legs on to stop. And the horse goes, huh? You know, they don't know what to do. Most of the time when a horse gets really ornery on you, it's because they're confused. Because what you're asking of them is confusing them. And you have to be very clear. And with dressage, with our, US 4 levels, 5 if you count intro, then FEI, 4 more levels, you're like, whoa, you can't put anything in at even intro. Yeah. That somewhere up the level is gonna make you hit a brick wall. Right. You have to be able to build on this foundation all the way to Grand Prix, which is how many does that add up to? 9 levels up. That's a long way to go without finding something contrary in your aids, when you're trying to do all those collected things and everything. So if you kick like crazy all the time, and then you expect them to stop when you put your legs on, good luck, That's why I like to think, basically, forward off the seat, collection, and transitions, downward transitions, with your seat and legs, with your legs. I didn't differentiate that very well. Chemo brain. I was telling Patty Sadler yesterday that it's a good thing this is a feel, because feelings I can remember. Actual memories, woo. Gosh, it makes me want to ride so bad. It really does. It's so hard not to be able to do it, but I know I'd kill myself if I did. Between my broken back and my broken hip and my... So sit in, make him go more forward than he wants to go, otherwise he gets dinky. And then he shows that little kind of, not really off, but shorter behind a little bit. We don't want that. Your legs come on to collect him. So if you take rein, your legs come on, remember, because we're trying to, your legs drive the hind legs underneath, which is how we shift the weight back, get them to sit, and that's what is a key component of downward transitions, so that they don't fall on the forehand. Right, because then they're really heavy in your hands when they do that. I mean, we got some riders out there that could, do weightlifting on the side, Good. Push, push. Sit close to the saddle. Don't lean forward. Open up. Lift the rib cage, drop the shoulders. It's kind of, yeah. And then shove him, sit close to the front. And when he's not listening, you really hold yourself tight towards the front. Yeah, and kind of, yes, to get that more bounce, yes. Now get the bend again, because he was looking to the left, and that also will prevent him from tracking up behind. If you let him get too much going to his soft side, staying bent there, you're going like a dog down the road, and you have no impulsion whatsoever, because it's going out the side. So for a horse, straightness is hind feet tracking into the tracks of the front feet, which could involve a bend in the middle. See, because if you were turning a circle and they were really totally straight, their hind legs would be stepping outside the circle. So it's all about the bend, about the bend, about the bend. Yeah. Good. Take and give, yeah. And you always take in spite of the outside rein, and I would almost be willing to, don't throw him away to do it. Remember, you lift him into it with your hands a little bit. And that's just a way of describing it. Yeah. That you don't give too soon, because otherwise he falls into, he runs into it instead of lifts into it, and that's no longer a depart. A canter depart is not a running into canter. It's a lifting into canter. So you help him by holding with the front end, holding with your hands, and only releasing through the right rein once he's already lifted. Yes, and give in the right, so that he has that open place, he doesn't feel claustrophobic. Good, and drive. Inside seat bone. It's the inside seat bone that really drives. Upper inside leg. In, and inside seat bone. Forward, forward, forward. Get that twist in the middle. And when you do it downward, legs come on, both of them. And you close your hand and you squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Let them know it's coming. In other words, don't just pull and stop driving. You have to drive and let him know you're there with your hand so that he can compress. Because that's how you end up getting canter walk transitions in the upper levels. Give on the right. You should held a little longer, but then once he's going, you better give. Okay? You still have to think about what's happening. It's a one-sided, legs on, and squeeze, squeeze, squeeze on the right. Yeah. Do that again. You know, this is when you should ask, is when he's really nodding yes, ma'am. If he's already starting to go against you, it's almost, yes, that was very good. Give on the right, left rein, upper right leg. Yes, yes, yes. Drop your shoulders. Both of them. Yes, and drive. Sit in, stay back with your upper body. Feel a hair left behind, so he's going off your seat. Good job. Now both legs come on, but not suddenly. Kind of increase. Your hands increase. You squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Yes. And you get something that's a little more close to what we're trying for, where he doesn't resist as much through the transition. He should almost come, that you can tell when he's pulling and getting on the forehand when he does that. So you can give him one little quick one, like no. You can say no to him. Good. Oh, the stretchy circle's a good thing. Good idea. I'm much less an instructor than I am a coach. You got to go do what you're going to do, and I coach what you're doing. I don't like to give directions about where to go all the time. I like to deal with what I see. Good job. That was nice. He's got beautiful foam, perfect on his lips. Perfect foam on his lips on both sides. That's excellent. Don't let him get too deep. Don't let him get too deep. He's either together and up there. And remember, your legs are what bring him up. Your hands can't do it. Because the more you raise them, the more he goes down. So your legs bring him up, then you flex him, squeeze, 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 and take on the left rein. Yeah. So the left rein he'll give to, he'll sort of give you that half a pole. Then you got to talk him into the stiff side. Good. Very good right there. And then sit back. Remember to sit. That's when he does that and he nods yes, and you feel like there's not a whole lot in your hand. That's when you sit in and don't pull. Don't use your hands at all practically. Yeah, get him to give. And you sit. Now, when he gives like that, then you sit in and be really soft with your hands. That a girl? That's very good. Yes. Sit in. Sit in. Don't let him drift to the outside, because that's leg yielding, and that's not a collecting exercise, which means he gets longer instead of shorter. I'm not as upset on this side as I would be on the other side if you leg yielded on the circle, because this is the side that we want to stretch that outside. See? Good. And sit and push. Yes. So that he accepts those driving aids without going above the bit. See? Cool. You kind of turn your knee in. We used to call it kneeling into the saddle.